Danny, is John Gruden worth that bank? No, not even close. Let's get this straight. So Gruden was traded to Tampa Bay. The year after he left, Rich Gannon won the MVP in Oakland without Gruden. The following season, when Gruden goes there, has a tremendous amount of success, with Tony Dungy's defense, and with a very average quarterback in Brad Johnson, my friend, and I don't want to rip him. But the offense wasn't spectacular. The offense never got great, and as the defense deteriorated, got old, and they had salary cut problems, that's when John Gruden started to fail. Had a losing record in his last 6 years there. 0-2 in the playoffs, when it was all said and done. If you're going to spend this type of money, why wouldn't you go and you want to make a splash? Why not throw that at Nick Saban? That's what I thought. Why not throw it at Pete Carroll? Why not shoot with knowing what you know now with what's going on with the Patriots? Maybe it's worth a call to Belichick. You could have made a much bigger splash with more recent history of success in the NFL than going after Gruden. Yeah, and certain things sound like a disaster. Like if I would have said to you, yeah, the 49ers are going to fire a coach who took a team from 6-10 to 13-3, and replaced him with the guy named Jim Tomsula, who's never been a coordinator, you'd be like, that sounds bad. Barry Melrose, TV commentator, out of coaching for a decade, coaching Tampa Bay. Lasted 12 games. This sounds not great. Porous franchise pays $100 million for a coach who hasn't been in a team for 9 years. That doesn't sound good to me. Like, Gruden's enough of a workaholic. And I do think, like you've talked about, he lives in a room. There's no question. This is not like Jerry Tarkanian to the San Antonio Spurs, where you're, like, he don't even like the NBA. Gruden loves the NFL. But, man, 9 years out of this business? They don't use fullbacks anymore. When John was in the sport, that huddles. I don't hate, I think he could have some success. But at that price, it's just not worth it. Well, I just look at your worth, what anybody is willing to pay you. And they are willing to pay him. And, I hate the Raiders with the white-hot intensity of a 1,000 Suns. I hate them. But the league is a better place when the Raiders are relevant. And the issue, more than anything else, the issue is developing a winning culture, putting a culture together that you can win with. He's got a quarterback that could be an all-star type of quarterback. He's got one of the best offensive lines, although they underperformed this year in all of football. They've got talented players on the offensive side of the ball. I don't think there's any question. Really, to me, it comes down to, can you create a culture there? An atmosphere there that can win. And he did that when he was there. He took a Raiders team, and I played against him. I played against that Raiders team. My career of 6 years in Denver, I was 11-1 against the Raiders. But he took a Raiders team and created a culture there, where they started to win. Then he left, went to Tampa Bay, and the rest is history. But I think that part of it, for them, they have been for a decade and a half have been trying to change the culture there. And they look at him and say, man, this is the one guy that we feel like can change it. He's done it before. He can do it again. I'm not going to hate on him. There's college. Oh, hell, Nick Saban, $11 million, including a $4 million bonus, so you can't put peanut butter on your toast to be playing college football. Laughter, but well, pay Nick Saban $11 million, right? Ain't that how it works? But you're going to play the national championship, you guys will get a cool swag bag, and have a watch and a hat. I get a $4 million bonus. So I make good for you, guys. Well, it's like this. You said it the best. If you're going to pay me $100 million, and yeah, I'll say, nah, give me the $50 million, I'm going to give you $50 million back. No, you'll take it, right? I feel like Vegas. They're going to Vegas. This the perfect fit for Vegas. We don't know if it's going to work or not. Nick Saban in Vegas. You guys, Nick Saban in Vegas or Belichick in Vegas? That ain't going to happen. See, even you have to laugh about it. This is the perfect fit for the Raiders. He's been at the Raiders. People look at Chucky's back. That's what they want. Now if it works or not, you said it best. He's always in the film room looking at film. He's not outdated when it comes to football. I don't believe that. It's just the thing is, will he be able to relate to the players? He's been away from players so long, because now, you got the blackboard, you do your own thing. But now you've got to sit and talk to players, and I wonder if it's fame, though, because he's 10-time, he's a pitch man. He's like if his fame from doing Monday Night Football, and being on ESPN, and being on all those all the quarterback coaching things, and all that stuff, if his fame instantly gives him more credibility in a locker room, where everybody is trying to build a brand. I mean, I've built a brand. And you know what? The way you build a brand in this league is actually being good at football. Yeah? Then yeah, we'll build your brand. So get off your doggone, phones and all that stuff, and let's start building a brand together. I'm worried what Eric said, because think about today's players, as opposed to a decade ago. They're more politically active. You're seeing more racial divides in locker rooms, which I never saw. I mean, it was more there was kind of you could put those things aside. You could make jokes about it. Now guys are willing to question things more. Why are we running this play? Like, nobody asked those questions just a decade ago, and now they will. So I think that'll be his biggest challenge, more so than the X's and O's. One good thing to 10-year contract, I think you can build a pretty good staff, knowing hey, I'm going to get 4 or 5 years minimum. I mean, when you go to get security-wise, from a security standpoint, I could go to my wife and say, no state tax, nice winters, good restaurants. And I know for 4 or 5 years, I'm locked in at $700,000 a year. So it's really easy to get a good staff, when people know I'm not going anywhere. And they're going to pay that staff, too. They're going to back up the truck for them, too.